Hey you guys, it's Vida. I just want to talk to you on a more serious note. You know, I'm not drunk right now. No, I had to stop drinking though because I have fibroids and I went to the hospital because I missed my period. So I went and I got a pregnancy test and it was negative. And then I went to the doctors and the doctor said it was negative and he gave me an exam. He told me, "Oh, you're 3 centimeters," and I'm like, "Oh, I'm 3 centimeters. What does that mean? I'm having a miscarriage, or what's going on?" And he told me, "No, you have fibroids." And I was like, "Oh, well, that sucks. So what do I do about that?" And so they gave me an IUD for the stop the bleeding, which has been wonderful. I don't have periods anymore because periods were a straight nightmare. And then they said I'm going to have a procedure done, and it's not really a big deal. It's invasive. So I go to Children's Hospital in San Francisco, UCSF, wonderful hospital. They saved my life. And I'm starting, they do what was it called? When you go inside the machine, gave me some injection of some metal so that the MRI CAT scan. It was like a CAT scan, but a full body of my uterus and stuff. So I had to get an injection of some metal stuff so they could pick it up on the CAT scan, and then they did the procedure, uterine artery UAE, uterine artery embolization. So they told me when I get the uterine artery embolization, the tumors are going to die and shrink. So I have the procedure. And after the procedure, I had a catheter in me. Before they did it, I'm in the hospital. My family's there praying for me. My aunt came from Texas with her husband. Thank you, Thea Starla. And Uncle John and my stepmom and, everybody that was praying for me. I don't think I would have pulled through that without my family. But they came up there. They were there. Then the Russian lady who's like, "Okay, I'm going to put a tube down your throat now. So to help you to breathe during the procedure." And I was like, "Oh, okay, let's do it." So this is all what they're telling me is invasive. I don't know how I can get more invasive than having a tube down my throat and a catheter and all that other stuff. So anyway, after the procedure, I wake up. The nurse tries to get me out of bed. She tries to get me to sit up, and my heartbeat goes up, and I have this nauseous feeling. It was so awful. It was such an awful experience. Anyway, I ended up getting out of the bed and going home. 2 weeks of recovery. 3 months later, I go get a ultrasound to see what's the results of my thing, and they're saying, "Okay, it's shrunk." But then the lady at the ultrasound says, "Well, they don't die. Your hormones can still feed them." And I'm like, "But I was told they would die and shrink and go away." She's like, "No, they still can grow from your hormones." And I'm like, "Oh, okay. That sucks." So after 3 months, I'm getting my life together. I'm starting to put on weight, and I'm just putting on weight. And I'm totally depressed. And so anyway, so then I go back 6 months later, and they're still shrinking, but they tell me, they're not going to shrink. They're only going to shrink by half, but they're 9 centimeters. There's 3 of them. There's one that's 9, one that's 7, and one that's 5. So now, a year and a half later, I had an ultrasound last month. They are 5, 4, and 3. So, or 5, 5'3" and 2. They're much, much smaller by half, but I still feel a lot of pressure. So they said because I'm still uncomfortable and stuff, they can, because I have one that's pedunculated, which means it's on the outside of my uterus, I can get another embolization on that one. And I was like, no, you're not about to mess with me no more. If you're going to do another surgery, you're just going to have to take it all out. But they want to save my uterus, they said, but I'm not doing surgery again. So, which is funny because the doctor who did my surgery, I met him, and then the guy who did it was Dr. Sunshine. And I was like, well, I never even met Dr. Sunshine, but apparently he was the one. They even shaved me and everything. Nice little triangle shape. Oh, it's crazy. Anyway, so I just feel like now they're telling me they'll do a hysterectomy, but I gotta lose 80 pounds. So I don't need to have a hysterectomy, but I feel a lot of pressure. And I feel like Angelina Jolie had a mastectomy. She didn't even have tumors. And I'm just kind of freaked out. So I just need to lose weight now, I guess. But this has been a nightmare for me. I wish I could go back to when I was drinking all the time. So I had to stop drinking. I was always drinking, but then I had to always be on pills and stuff. So I'm off pills, and I went to the doctor's day before yesterday, and doctor said everything was fine. And I was just like, well, praise God, because everything has not been fine. So it was really nice to have a doctor tell me, it's looking good down there. Like, I was like, right on, And this has not been fun for me. And then there's coronavirus. So I guess I'm lucky I'm better. I got my surgery before this coronavirus stuff happened. But anybody who's going through this, don't let them fool you when they tell you it's invasive, because it's a hard thing to go through, but it's worth it. It saved my life, the UAE, because my heartbeat was like 52 beats a minute, and now it's normal. It's like 72 or 82 beats a minute. So UCSF, I thank you for saving my life, but I hope that you guys hurry up and find a cure for this stupid coronavirus so you can save other people. That's it. That's all I'm about to talk about. I'm not talking about getting drunk or nothing today, because I haven't really been drinking too much. But when I do, I'll let you know.